I'm meteorologist Bella Grace here with your extended forecast. Right now, right here at home, we're seeing a fair bit of Texas air trying to roll into Arkansas and Oklahoma. That's hitting us. That's bringing some dry, warm air our way. That's going to raise our temperatures a little bit for the rest of the week. It's also bringing in dry air. We're already feeling very dry, and as we go into the week, we're going to start to see that shift, trying to get a little bit of that away from us, building a little more moisture, but then this northern air comes right in to cool things down, dry us out once again. So we're not getting a lot of moisture right here at home. There is a stationary front off to our north that's not quite going to make its way towards us here in Five Country. It's going to stay off to our north. We're just in this kind of high pressure area. You can see it's a little bit further to our east, but it is extending over into Arkansas and Oklahoma, keeping things a little bit warmer, a little bit more dry. It's keeping our skies clear, really. As we go throughout the next week or so, we're going to see that high pressure system really sit overhead until it starts to retreat back west. That's on Sunday. We're going to get a front to move through alongside this lower pressure system. It's going to bring a little bit cooler air our way. You can see that kind of extending south as we go into next week. But by Thursday, that high pressure ridge is really building, and it's going to take over a lot of the central U.S. and we're going to feel effects from that. Seeing temperatures start to rise back up, we're going to feel a little bit warmer, a little bit more dry. We're not getting really any moisture to build up because not only are we not feeling it now, we've got this high pressure sitting over us. It's going to continue to elude us. We're just going to stay a little bit on the dry side for most of October. We're really not looking at much in the way of clouds or rain coming our way just because these high pressure systems are really taking over for us right here in Arkansas and Oklahoma. So relief is not quite coming our way. We are going to feel warm, increasing in those temperatures over the next couple of days into the weekend before we start to calm down, hopefully a little bit as that cold front that I talked about moves in, but it's not going to bring a lot of cool air. It might drop our temperatures a little bit, but you can see how warm we're feeling off to our west. And that's the air that's going to be moving our way. You know, this stuff from Kansas, from Colorado is going to be trying to move in, and it'll bring some dry air, but it won't really cool things down much for us. We're not expecting a huge drop in temperature, just a couple of degrees there. And you can see it really well here on the moisture map that we're looking forward to. We're trying to build up a little bit more moisture as we go throughout the weekend into Saturday. You can see we're getting a little bit more of this east wind to push in some of this moisture towards us right here, but you can see also that pretty distinct line between the very dry air over the southwest and this more moist air over the Midwest. Now we can see as that cold front starts to drop south, it's really bringing in that dry air. So not only are we not having very heavy, humid days anymore right now, but once that cold front moves through, we're going to dry out pretty drastically. It's going to be very sunny and clear for us, not too different from what we're already seeing, but we'll definitely feel that in the air, how much drier it's going to be, that moisture, that little bit of humidity that we're going to build over the next day or so going to vanish. We're really going to be dry going into next week, and that's an issue for us. We're already feeling dry. This is our newest drought monitor, just came out today, and we're seeing that Northwest Arkansas is sitting in this level 2 drought, level 3 in some spots in Oklahoma, but us right here, we are very dry. That's 2 out of 4. So it is extremely dry for us. How is that going to affect the rest of our season? Well, it's a lot of different things, and we're seeing that dryness really extend into the river valley as well. Parts of LaFleur County, the most southern bit, is seeing that a little bit more of that dry air as well. That's because things have been warmer. They've been drier. We're also seeing lower humidity values. We're also seeing a few gusty winds, which brings in the issue of some fire weather. So how is this going to impact us? What are we seeing right here for the next couple of days because of this drought? Well, warm, dry conditions, we know that's going to stick around. That's kind of in the name, the drought. We're going to stay pretty dry. We're also seeing burn bans. Now, these tend to happen when we have a drought or things that could lead to a drought. So low humidity, gusty winds, that increases the chances of seeing some wildfires, fire weather. So we put burn bans out to kind of hold those off because we know it's a little bit more likely to happen when things are dry. We've got this dry brush outside. A little spark can go a long way. So we do have burn bans out across a few of our different counties. We're also going to be watching for dying trees, plants. You know, we've had these drier conditions for the past couple of days, weeks even, and we don't see any relief in sight. So we're kind of smack in the middle of this very dry outlook. That's going to lead to some stress on our vegetation. Stress tends to lead to a little bit of dying for our fall weather specifically. It could possibly lead to the trees killing off the leaves a little bit faster, so we won't get to see as beautiful colors that we usually get to see around this time, or starting in the next month or so. We could start to lose those leaves a little bit sooner, not get quite of a vibrant fall that we usually get, which is unfortunate, but it's just one of those things that we get alongside these more dry periods in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We deal with this a lot, especially this time of the year. We're not getting as much in the way of rain, and we had a lot of rain earlier in the summer. That's just not translating over. We're losing a lot more. So that surplus that we built up is kind of dwindling now. And that's creating an issue as we go later into the fall, feeling a little bit more dry, seeing a little bit more of that dead grass outside. You know, it's turning a little bit more yellow. So those are all things to be looking out for. And it's not aided by the fact that we have a few stronger winds outside, not super strong, but you can see around 10 to 12 miles per hour by this afternoon in northwest Arkansas. A little bit lighter in the River Valley, but still up to 8, 10, 12 miles per hour by tomorrow or later tonight. We're seeing those stronger wind gusts over Oklahoma. Could send some into us here in northwest Arkansas as well as the River Valley. When you have dry air and wind, that's when you get those fire weather advisories and alerts, and we start looking out for that a little bit more. Those burn bans are in effect for that reason, because we're feeling a little bit more dry. We're feeling a little bit of that wind. It's not even that strong. We're not looking at 20 miles per hour. We're looking at 10 or 15, but even that is just enough to kind of raise a few eyebrows, keep us on our toes as we look forward towards the weekend. We're starting to dry out, feeling a little bit more of those gusty winds into the weekend. And we know we're not seeing much in the way of humidity. You can see those numbers really staying in the 40s and 50s for most of tomorrow. Once we get into Saturday, that's when we're going to start to try and pull in a little bit more moisture. So we're seeing a few 60s out there in Clarksville, Paris, Huntsville, but that's coming in tangent with rising temperatures. So if our dew points are rising and our temperatures are rising, the difference between those, our humidity, is staying pretty consistently low for us. So even though we're going to try to pull in a little bit more moisture, we're just not feeling humid at all. We're feeling extremely dry. That's why we have these burn bans out. Take a look at these. This is mostly over Arkansas. We're seeing parts of the River Valley as well as parts of northwest Arkansas where we're seeing that dry air really settle in. That's just going to stay in effect until we can get some more water, get out of these drought conditions, really calm down our winds as well, and get a little bit more moisture in. And we'll definitely be heating up, but it doesn't look like we're going to get a lot of relief even in the next couple of weeks. Looking forward into October, we're seeing really a whole lot of nothing, staying abnormally dry for this time of the year. And that's why we have these drought conditions. And that's just going to lead to a few different issues right here at home for Arkansas, for Oklahoma. where we're seeing our vegetation die. Crop yield could be a little bit worse this year because we're watching this. Your cattle might need a little bit more in the way of feeding. It's hot out there. It's dry. Just not a great place to be for this time of the year. Temperature-wise, things aren't too bad. We're seeing some 90s out there in northwest Arkansas. That's pretty warm for this time of the year, high 80s, but we'll get that cold front to move through and drop us back down next week. So a little bit more comfortable with those 80s out there, about 81 consistently. We're seeing closer to 83 consistently in the River Valley, but before that, we're going to warm up quite a bit towards the 90s. About 92 for Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a warm and sunny weekend, just a little bit dry for us. That cool air is also going to affect our mornings. We're trying to build in a little bit more humidity, like I've said, and that's leading to a few warmer mornings coming ahead. And by warmer, I mean upper 50s. Not bad. Still fall-like. We're definitely still in that fall-like zone. But once we get that cold air to really move in, that'll drop us back down towards the lower 50s, feeling a little bit cooler for our mornings. Definitely feeling that in the River Valley, where we're dropping from the 60s back towards those mid 50s. So feeling a little bit more seasonable as we go into next week. That cold front is really going to help us out in terms of temperature, just not so much in the way of moisture or rain. And I mean, looking ahead, we're seeing nothing but sunshine. You're watching these sunny skies roll through next week. We could get a few clouds to work their way in Thursday and Friday, but still staying extremely dry. No rain chances in sight. Even by the end of next week, we're going to be in those lower 80s. The sun is coming back, so things are staying pretty consistent for us here in northwest Arkansas, as well as the River Valley. Those 90s going to drop into the 80s and stay near consistent in the mid to low 80s for all of next week into next weekend. Things are feeling a little dry, looking a little sunny, but it's some good time to be outside and enjoying the fall. Even if our vegetation is taking a bit of a hit right now, we will work back some rain and moisture later in the season, just taking its time for right now. That's been your extended forecast. I'm meteorologist Bella Grace.